All right, Lewis, which story do you want first? We have two conversion stories, for lack of a better term. The one where George W. Bush tries to convert Jews to Christians to bring on the second coming of Christ, or the one where Marco Rubio tries to convert gay people to be straight. Which one is more interesting to you?
I'm just such a huge fan of George W. Bush. Let's go with that.
All right, we'll start with George W. Bush. Mother Jones is reporting, Mother Jones reported a few days ago that former President George W. Bush is scheduled to do a keynote fundraiser in Irving, Texas for the Messianic Jewish Bible Institute. This is a group that trains people in the U.S., Israel, and around the world to convince Jews to accept Jesus as their Messiah. And their goal is to restore Israel and the Jews, which they believe will bring on the second coming of Christ. Messianic Jews have been controversial for a long time. A bunch of rabbis were asked about George W. Bush participating. They are not really thrilled with this. Rabbi David Saperstein, who's the director of the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism, said it's disappointing that George W. Bush would give a stamp of approval to a group whose program is an express effort to convert Jews and not accept the validity of the Jewish covenant. On Friday, after the story was published, the Messianic Jewish Bible Institute removed all references that George W. Bush would be speaking there. But when someone from Mother Jones called and talked to Freddie Ford, who's a spokesman for the former president, they said Bush's plans haven't changed. He's absolutely going to be there. The craziest thing, Lewis, is that this group isn't even really significant. Last year, their total fundraising was just over $1 million. And the broader thing that concerns me here, not that George W. Bush is participating in this insane fundraising for such an insane practice of convincing Jews to change their religion. Imagine this, Lewis. You don't think that godliness depends on your own religion. The Jews need to do something specific so that your Messiah comes back. I mean, it's really all sorts of disconnected from reality. But the problem I have is that presidents are seen as the type of people to get involved in this type of thing. And that's because we don't really have separation of church and state. You can't be an atheist and be elected president. You're expected to have your favorite Bible verses, so on and so forth. That's really the concerning thing from this story, not that Bush is going to show up.
I have to wonder if that entire $1 million is going right into George Bush's pocket for this.
No. What $1 million was what they raised last year. So my point was more that he's getting some speaking fee. It's probably a couple $100,000, or maybe he's doing this one as a freebie. But the idea that he's showing up for an organization that's relatively small.
That's what I was going to get to. Yes, but you interrupted me. I was going to say it must be a handsome speaking fee, because otherwise I can't imagine why he would get involved with this.
Yeah, it would seem like kind of a waste of time. Although maybe he really likes and believes the cause, that if he can convert a few more Jews, Jesus will be back.
Even though it's George W. Bush, I have a really hard time believing that he might actually think that.
Yeah.